here. I'm here today to start another reading vlog. I just finished my Aurora's End reading vlog, which will probably go up after this. So I am reading 2 books on my Kindle. I never read on my Kindle, so this is a big affair. But I'm reading Love from Scratch by Caitlin Hill, which comes out in April, and it's like a contemporary cooking-based romance. Here is a photo. Lot of it, but it basically follows these 2 characters, and they are working as interns behind the scenes of like their version of the Food Network. And these 2 characters, but you really only get one point of view, they're like summer interns, and they're both competing to be year-long interns, and it's set the summer after they graduate from high school. And I really do like the main character quite a bit, and now they're sort of forced to work together on like a video to be shared by millions, like on this little platform, because the real chefs had to go do something. And that's all that I've read so far. I really did like it. It's very, very fun. I'm going to hopefully read quite a bit more today. And I picked up and read the first 50 pages of The Jade War by Fonda. Here is a photo. On so many people's like best of the year list, and I got it for I think I bought it, but I also got the audiobook for a really discounted price, so I did pick it up. I read the first 50 pages and I am definitely intrigued, like right off the bat, but I know it's another longer book and I want to finish Love from Scratch. Will make some progress on it, and I also have a 3-day weekend, so I will make some progress on that. I also switched up my audiobook. I stopped listening to the library book because it just was it wasn't boring, but wasn't exactly what I was looking for. So I'm reading a book about listening, which something that I need to work on in my real life. So that is an audiobook. It's like I'm not You're Not Listening. I think that's what it's called. I'll put the title here when I see it. But I am gonna go read a little bit of Love from Scratch. Have about 7% into it, so I'm gonna read a couple of chapters and then I'll give you guys another check-in. But so far, I'm really liking it. And, we're heading to a weekend, and hopefully this weekend will be a little bit more relaxing than the last couple of weekends. And I will talk to you when I read a couple more chapters of Love from Scratch. Bye, friends. So long since I've read a contemporary. I think last year was my lowest contemporary reading month that I've had. Like, I've read a lot of historical romance, but I really did not read enough of contemporaries, and I'm going to try to make that a priority. I'm really liking this one. It's a very, very fun concept. I'm gonna maybe do a video of my favorite reading tropes because I do like a lot of them. I tend to sometimes struggle with enemies to more, but this book is not really that. It's more just like maybe enemies to more, but I'm really liking it. So you follow these 2 characters, and they are interns at this Food Network, and they're summer interns. And they got sort of teamed up to do this do this baking segment because something happened, and they were sort of tossed together. And the people in the community, like, they're watching, are basically shipping them. But they're very competitive with each other because there's one internship spot for the fall and they both want it. I really like it. I like that Reese, and like, it's just funny with her name because she's Benny, the other guy, is like making fun of her name, and she's Southern and he's making fun of that, and it's really delightful. It's a very, very small story cast, which I don't always love, but the one element I do like about this book is you do get text messages with her 2 friends from home. I really like that, and I think it's a very fun read. Like, I almost just want to keep reading it and not like put it down. So I'm like on chapter 7. I like the baking element too. Right now it's more cooking. The first challenge was baking, the second one was cooking, but I'm just liking it. Like, it's just very, very fun. It's been a bit since I've read a contemporary, so I'm really enjoying it. I actually made a lot of progress on my YouTube Cube as well. So I only have about 24 videos left, which I can definitely finish this weekend, which I'm really excited about. So I'm going to go read like 2 more chapters and try to finish the Reagan video that I'm watching. And then I'm probably going to watch a couple more episodes of Schitt's Creek because that was like just a nice way to like relax for the week. And it's a really, really fun show that I'm really, really liking. So I'm going to go read a couple more chapters of Love from Scratch, and then I'll check in with you guys. Bye, friends. checking back in. It's about 8:19. I did wind up getting up to chapter 8 in Love from Scratch, which is about 32% into it. I have about 4 hours left. This book is dealing with a lot of topics that I'm really loving. Normally when you read books set in like the entertainment industry, it's not, or like the media industry, they don't talk about harder topics. It's very much the fluffy side of things. But Caitlin Hill is doing something really unique, and even though normally I do like my romances being dual point of view, like I sometimes struggle with books that only have one, like normally it's the female point of view, I am really liking it. I like the setting, I like the elements, I like how it's a very interesting time for these characters because it's set after high school, so there's a lot of past stuff that they're both dealing with. I do like the relationship that's sort of developing. It definitely is, would say probably, I wouldn't even say that they're enemies. They're just like competing for something. And I think that that's sort of where the enemy element is. That doesn't scream enemies to me, but it's more like friends to more maybe, or just like acquaintances to more. I don't even know. I mean, I guess there is an enemy element to it, but it's not the point. But they are having a lot of conversations about being a woman in the media industry and just a woman in general, and I think that that's a really interesting conversation to have. And I just like Benny's reaction to a lot of the stuff that happened. It was not what I was expecting, and I'm really like enjoying it. So tomorrow I am probably going to try to read another 50 pages of Jade City on the train ride to and from work, and then I will maybe try to read a little bit more of this as well. I normally do a lot of planning stuff when I come home on Friday. We will see if that's going to happen as well. But I'm going to go watch a little bit of Schitt's Creek, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, friends. It is Friday, the 14th. I do have a 3-day weekend, which is super exciting. I also read to about 50% in Love from Scratch. I'm really liking it. It's a very, very fun, cute contemporary. But what I'm going to try to do tonight is sort of get all my little things I have to get done. Like I want to get my YouTube videos filmed. I want to organize a bunch of stuff so I can really have like 3 days off to just sort of relax. I want to start my 10-year binder this weekend. I want to pick up a new audiobook. So that's sort of my plan. And I normally do this on Friday. I normally try to get a bunch of stuff done so I can really do have a weekend. So that is my plan. I'm going to go pick a new audiobook. I think I'm going to pick A Curious Beginning by Diana Reborn because Riley Marie was rereading it, and I read that so many years ago and feel like I want to reread. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go do some errands, kind of get my vlog in order, my Instagram, all that stuff in order, and then we will see what time it is. It might take me all night. It may not. We will see. But I do have to film a couple of videos and figure out what I want to do and all that stuff. So I will talk to you guys in a little bit, and we will chat when I'm about to sit down and read. Bye, friends. Here, I just want to do a quick check-in. I am still working. It's probably going to take me a long time. Like, I just have a lot of stuff I got to get done, and I'm really liking my bullet journal, and I just want to get a bit more organized. I've really never done some of these things. I've never, like, gone through all my, like, it's been a bit since I've gone through all my books and kind of read through them and kind of looked on the back and kind of done all, like, do I want to keep these? So that's really what I'm going to kind of do. I'm also feeling, like, a little bit tired. Nothing, like, bad. I'm just feeling a little bit not even just tired. So I just want to kind of sit here and kind of do my organization, probably stay up a little bit later, and then kind of go to bed. Tomorrow is going to be another day to just relaxing. Hope to get some reading done tomorrow would be lovely, and also kind of just start some work on my 10-year binder if I can. If not, that's okay too. But there are a couple of little things I would like to get done today. Specifically, like prep, like do all my posts that all the books I read in 2021 and have those prepped. And I think I'm going to do like a couple of little things different. I have always wanted to do like a bookish spreadsheet. So I think I'm going to try to be better at doing that. I always start it and then I like never continue. So that's something I want to start. I want to also like try to figure out the book series I want to focus on this year, like through Goodreads, the book series that I started, do a video about that. Just a lot of like organization stuff. I also want to start my morning routine a little bit better and sort of figure that out. My morning routine right now sort of sucks, and I just want to, like, you know, I haven't done Skillshare in a couple of months. I haven't done Duolingo in a couple of months. I haven't read any nonfiction physically, which is something that I normally do try to do. So I'm just in the mood to sort of like figure that stuff out and kind of make it a mission this weekend to just sort of get myself organized. So yeah, I don't. I hope to get a bunch of reading done, but I also just want to feel like I'm more solidified, and I don't feel like that yet. I don't feel like I'm solidified in the year yet, and I think that's just because like I was in Disney and I'm still sort of catching up endlessly. So I'm gonna go sort of try to get organized a little bit, and just kind of check in with you guys as I do. I have a bunch of stuff I do want to get done. I'm also listening to an audiobook, and that's probably why like I'm just captured, because this audiobook I'm really liking. It's called A Curious Beginning by Diana Reborn, historical fiction murder mystery. This is a reread for me. I read it like so many years ago and I just never continued, but I'm back. So, and I actually really do like the audiobook quite a bit. So maybe that's why I'm kind of motivated to like come back and just sort of get some stuff done that's been on my mind for a while. So yeah, that was a really, really long update that involved no reading, but I am really liking this book very, very much. So, yeah, it is like, you know, it's very, very fun. I will give you guys a little bit more updates when I read a little bit more, but right now, back to organizing. It's about 7:12. I would like to work for a few more hours before I head to bed and watch a couple episodes of Schitt's Creek, but I will talk to you guys on the other side. Bye, friends. It's a little bit in the it's early. I just woke up. It's about 7:15. But I didn't wind up getting everything done that I wanted to yesterday. The one thing I did is I finished watching season 3, I think, of Schitt's Creek, which I really am liking. So I'm gonna go back to doing what I did over in the summer, and I'm gonna try to have a little bit of a better morning routine, which is something I've always been struggling with. So I'm gonna read like 20 pages of hood feminism in the morning every single weekend when I wake up. And normally I'm gonna work out and sort of just that's gonna be what I'm gonna do. But I do want to build up my nonfiction collection that I do want to read. A lot of the books I have in my TBR I don't really want to read anymore, so I want to do like a little bit of an order where I buy some physical books. But yeah, so I'm going to read about 20 pages of hood feminism, see how I feel about it, and then I'm going to go back and like do some actual work because I have a bunch of stuff I have to get done today. But I'm gonna go read about 20 pages of this, maybe take some notes, notate it, and then just see where we are. And I will talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I'm back. I did wind up having some lunch. I did most of my errands. I still need to film like one video. I'll probably do it on Monday or next weekend. It just really depends on how I'm feeling. But I was able to do a massive unhaul. I was able to do my 5-star read predictions. I filmed a couple of videos yesterday as well. So I'm pretty confident that I'm good. So I'm going to pick up Love from Scratch. I left off in like an awkward place. So I am going to try to pick up and try to like read like a couple more chapters and then just sort of get back into the flow of the story, because I left off and I like was doing stuff yesterday, and today I was like working all day. So I'm going to go read a couple of chapters of this and then I'll give you guys a check-in. But that's really my plan for the rest of the weekend, is just to relax, read, and read. That's my plans, and to catch up on all my YouTube videos, which will be a process, I'm sure, but I'm really excited for it. So I'm going to go read, watch some YouTube videos, and I will check in with you guys when I read probably like 2 to 3 chapters, like when I get up to the 50% mark, just so I can like remember where I am in the story, because again, I don't like leaving off on a cliffhanger, and I sort of did. So back to reading I go. Bye, friends. Just want to do a quick check-in. I did wind up getting up to chapter 14 in Love from Scratch, which is about 57% into it. I'm really liking this book. This is definitely a contemporary that does deal with like really interesting topics, especially in regards to not only like the entertainment industry, but also just like generally like it's dealing with like, you know, the double standards that men and women have. I really like the romance. The romance is definitely like propelling me forward. I also like that it's set on like a TV show set. I like the baking elements to it. I wish there was a little bit more actual baking. It's more like cooking in general. But I was misled by a cover. But I'm really liking it. I think that Reese's character is very unique and like just deals with a lot of things. There's also a lot of elements that I'm just really liking. There's also an element that reminds me of The Big Bang Theory, which is just something that's fun, and I'm really liking it. My goal is to finish this book today. I have about 3 hours left. But I'm also making my way through my YouTube queue. I also did finish watching my TV show last night, which is really, really exciting. Yeah, so I'm gonna go read a little bit more. I'm gonna get you to chapter 16 and then I'll give you guys another check-in. I don't know what I'm in the mood to read next. I was originally gonna read Jade City, but I might read something else. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm really liking this and I'll give you guys a check-in when I read a little bit more. Bye friends. Lori here, I'm back. It is about 7:40. I have been reading. I got up to chapter 19, like 73%. I really like this. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's normally 73% in a YA contemporary. Insane drama has occurred and the characters are separated. And I read a few books in 2021 that didn't have that big explosion. And I sort of liked it. And I'm curious if this book is going to go that way or if it's going to do normally a big blow up. But I'm really liking, they're having really interesting conversations about like entertainment culture and about being on a TV show and the comments you get and the hate and the backlash, and how it's different for a girl and versus a guy, and just the relationship she's having with a lot of people in the entertainment industry is really, really interesting. It reminds me of a book that I literally just put on my bookshelf, Don't Read the Comments, where like you're not supposed to engage with culture because, and as like a YouTuber, we all get bad comments. We all get comments of people telling us to shut up or like you don't belong on YouTube. So I totally get that element to it. I'm also a teacher and I get it from my students all the time. Sometimes, not recently. But it's just a very interesting conversation and not a conversation you see a lot in a YA novel. So I like those dynamics quite a bit. But yeah, I have about like an hour and a half left. So I'm going to go read a couple more chapters and then I'll give you guys a check-in. I really do like Reese as a character. It's definitely, I think the cover led me to believe it was like a pure baking book, and that's not what we got. But it does still involve baking and cooking, so there's a lot of elements to it, but really liking it. So I'm going to go read a little bit more, and then I'll give you guys a check-in when I read probably like to chapter 21. Right now I'm on chapter 19, so see you guys in a bit. Bye, friends. Friends, just want to do a quick check-in. It's about 8:35. I have about an hour left in this book. I'm definitely going to finish it tonight. That's my plan anyway. Also, YouTube queue update. I got my YouTube queue down to 17 videos, which is my goal, is to finish watching these tonight. I am not going to bed until they're all watched. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how successful I am. But there was a big blow up, and I think this is a blow up that I like because it's less about the relationship and more about the character. And I think the character has a lot going on. The character had a lot of issues in her past with relationships and with being slut-shamed throughout her career and throughout her life. There was one specific incident, but like it came back when she was getting all this hate on this community, like on this, like, she's an intern and she got put in like the situation where she's doing videos for like the Food Network. I like that the blow up was about Ben, but was also about a lot of her insecurities. I thought that was really well done. Sometimes these blow ups are really just more about lack of communication. There was a lack of communication element to the blow up, but it was about a lot more, and I'm like really liking it. It's been and I would say I wouldn't even classify this as hate to love or like hate to more, because like they never hated each other. It was more competitive. They were competing against each other. So I do like that. I think it was very, very interesting. I like the isolated setting. They're also a little bit older, and you do get that impression they're like about to go to college. So it's definitely older, and I like that. So I'm going to read a little bit more, and when I get to the end of it, I'll give you guys one more check-in. Bye, friends. I just want to do a quick check-in. It is 9:32. I did wind up finishing Love from Scratch by Caitlin Hill. I really like that book quite a bit. It was a very fun contemporary story with a lot of different elements. I am such a sucker for books that focus on the entertainment industry. I always try to teach my students about the entertainment industry. I am a theater teacher, but they just had some really like interesting conversations. The end had a really great scene that I just devoured. I really love the male lead in the story quite a bit. The only thing that would have made the story like a little bit better was getting his point of view, and that's just like a personal preference thing. I love YA romances or any real romances where you get both characters' point of view, but I loved Benny as a character. The one thing that I thought was a little bit like not like awful, but like it was very much a story that focused really on Reese and her new life. So you didn't really get to see her parents, like, and any siblings if she possibly had those. That wasn't really fleshed out. But I loved the group dynamic that developed towards the very, very end. That was a highlight that I wasn't expecting, and it be it just was great. I would probably give this like 4 stars for review. I think it will be a great summer read with a really, really fun romance dealing with harder topics like, sexism, a lot of harder stuff in the story, but I really loved it. So, since I'm not done with my YouTube queue yet, and one of my goals was to read more comics, I am going to pick up The Rift. Oh, no, maybe it's not The Rift. The next Avatar series that I'm in, I think it's called Smoke and Shadow. So, I'm going to pick that up as I'm, like, watching some videos. I'm watching Haley and Bookland. I have like 17 videos left, and I'm really not that tired, so that's good. So I'm going to read this, and when I'm done with this series, I'll probably check in with you guys, because I'm probably going to try to read at least maybe all 3 of them. We'll see. I'm definitely going to read 1. We'll see how progress I make. But very much like Left from Scratch, and I hope tomorrow to start Jade City. We will see, but I need a little bit of a palate cleanser, and that's going to be Avatar. Bye, friends. I did wind up reading the first volume of Avatar. What is it called? They all have different titles, obviously. But this one is Smoke and Shadow. So this one does not totally involve Aang in the gang. Like, it very much is focused on Zuko and someone returning back to, like, the Fire Kingdom. I don't want to give a spoiler because it's a pretty big spoiler for one of the volumes. And there is a conflict on the horizon. But the next volume in this, it's 3 volumes. I'm going to try to read it until my Kindle dies, ideally. But I'm going to read volume 2 too and see if I like that one. But the first one didn't really have Aang and the gang. The second one should have a little bit more of them. But this is what you can't really see, but that's what the cover looks like. And this is actually on one of my bullet journal pages, is to try to read all of these volumes so I can finally watch Legend of Korra. But yeah, I'm gonna go start this, and then when I'm done with this volume, I will come. We will chat again. Also, YouTube Cube update. I have only 14 videos left, which is actually pretty good. I doubt I will be able to finish all my YouTube Cube tonight, and maybe I can. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm gonna go read a little bit more, try to finish this volume, and then we'll check in again. Bye, friends. I did wind up getting up to like halfway done with volume 2. I think I'm just gonna finish it tomorrow. But my goal is to watch all of the videos for YouTube that are not reading vlogs, because I tend to read during those. And I just did a massive unhaul, so I might just like maybe buy some books when I go to Barnes and Noble tomorrow. So just have some books in my head. But yeah, we will check in tomorrow. I also didn't really say it in this reading vlog, but I have like an hour left of The Curious Beginning by Diana Reborn, which I'm loving. That's a reread for me. I read that like 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. So I don't remember any of the plot, but I really am liking it. It's very, very fun. And it's like the perfect mix between Regency romance and mystery, which is a thing I was really hunting for this year and just could not find it in any of the books that I picked up. But I'm liking that one. So, I'm going to, tomorrow my goal is to finish this like collection and do some bullet journaling in the morning so I can finish my audiobook. Then I'm going to go to yoga. Then I'm going to go to Barnes & Noble, and then I'm just going to start a new reading vlog, I think, and just do like a 48-hour reading vlog of some reads. It may be Jade City. It may be something else. We're going to see what I'm in the mood for. But I will be back hopefully with like 4 videos on my YouTube queue. That would be excellent. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, friends. I'm back. Sorry, it's really, really early. But I did want to wake up a little bit on the earlier side and really go through my Goodreads and kind of look at all the series I started over the past since 2013 and figure out what series I want to continue, what series I don't want to complete, and what series I am done with. Just because I've never really done that, and I've been on Goodreads since 2013, I think, so it's been a bit, and I've never really done this, so that's going to be my project for this morning. I am going to go to yoga. I think we're going to go to Barnes & Noble today as well. It's supposed to be really, really cold. Sorry, I sound like I have a cold. I don't. I just woke up. But yeah, so I'm going to go do that. I'm also listening to A Curious Beginning by Diana Reborn, which is my audiobook. So yeah, I'm going to go do that. And when I come back, we'll chat about it. I'm probably going to do a video about it as well, which I will film later. But I'll be off. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye, friends. Flora, I just got back from shopping. I did a big Barnes and Noble order. But I had a $75 gift card, and then I had a $25 gift card, and then my dad gave me some money, so I bought a bunch of books that I've just been wanting. Considering I just unhauled a ridiculous amount yesterday, I felt like I deserved a little bit of a treat. I also replenished my nonfiction selection because I want to try to get better at reading nonfiction. I ordered a couple books. I ordered These Violent Ends and also the new John Green short story collection, which I want to read after Hood Feminism. So I have a couple of things. But I also did read 2 volumes of my Shadow and Smoke Avatar series, and I'm going to finish this other little one today so I can move on. My goal is to read everything that's not Jade City until I get to just not watching YouTube videos, because I know that book is going to take a lot of focus. So I'm going to go read a little bit more of this. I'm going to go finish this section, volume 3, and then I'll check in with you guys and we'll see what time it is right now. It's almost 1:30. I just got home, went to yoga this morning, and yeah, I'm excited to spend the whole day reading. What I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to let this reading vlog go until I'm done with my YouTube videos, so it depends on how long that is. And then I'm going to start a new reading vlog focusing on Jade City. So we will see how long that takes me. I'm going to go finish this, watch a couple of booktube videos that I still have. I have only 10 left, which is great. And then we will touch base. Bye, friends. I wind up finishing Smoke and Shadow, which is part of the Avatar comics, that world. But I think I'm going to pick up When You Get a Chance by Emma Lord because it is a bit on the shorter side. And I really have wanted to read it. I will say I loved Tweet Cute. I liked her sophomore novel. I'm really excited for this one. It sounds right up my alley. It's about a girl. It's a Mamma Mia retelling, and I'm really excited. It's set in New York City, so I'm really excited for this one, and I'm going to start it and hopefully make some progress on it. But I have loved Emma Lord's writing style, so I'm really excited to start this one. And she's basically trying to find out who her mother is. I'm sure there will be a super cute romance in it. It also is, oh my god, I think it has an introduction to all the theater dweebs out there. Thank you, places. And I'm a theater geek, so I really like that. I'm reading off the bat. I'm gonna start this, try to catch up on my YouTube videos. I want to have caught up on YouTube, or when I have read about at least maybe 50 pages of this, I'll give you guys a check-in. Bye, friends. Just want to do a quick check-in. It's about 3:22. I did wind up reading about the first 50 pages, and When You Get a Chance. Right off the bat, I really like this book. I definitely like it more than her second book because I think I just feel a lot more connected to the character. But you basically follow this girl named Millie. She lives in New York City, and her whole dream is to be an actress. That's her whole dream. She got accepted into this prestigious acting school. She's a junior, so for her senior year she would go, but it is in LA, and her dad is very leery for her to go. She has never known who her mom was. Her dad has never told her. Her aunt has never told her. She has a best friend, which I love, a platonic relationship between a girl and a guy. You don't see that a lot, and I really like that right off the bat. But her dad is very adamant that she not go to the school, and she doesn't know a lot of things about her mom, but she knows her mom is an actress. Her mom is involved in the industry, and her dad met her mom in college, and she was dropped on her dad's doorstep as a baby, and that's all she knows. But when she is sort of hunting, she finds her dad's live journal and tries to start to figure out who her mother really is in hopes to and that's one plot line. And then she has to also convince her dad to let her go to this conservatory next year. There's a lot happening in this story, and I'm really liking it. I love anything set in the theater industry. And as a theater teacher that works in the theater industry, the process for getting into high school in New York City for for your high school is very, very hard and very, very challenging. And there are arts high schools, and I think that that's a whole conversation. But I just like this main character a lot, quite a bit. This book is super short. This book is only 320 pages, so it's not that long, but I'm really liking it. I like her as a character, and it's basically a Mamma Mia retelling, and she's going to try to find these 3 women and try to figure out which one is her mother, all with information she got from her dad's live journal and using her best friend to sort of figure out who these women are. There is a hate to love romance probably in this story, and the one thing I like about, the one reason I do like hate to love romances is when there's a lot of history to pull from. I don't like, you know, um, hate to love romances where there's really no history. Like earlier in this book, I read Love from Scratch. That was not like that really wasn't for me like a hate to love romance because there wasn't a history. This reminds me of the relationship between Today and Tonight Tomorrow with Rachel and Solomon, which also had a very fun love to hate element to it because there is a relationship there that you're pulling on. But I love the theater elements. It's really, really fun. So I'm going to go read about 50 more pages and then I'll give you guys another update. I'm watching a longer booktube video where someone is telling me their favorite reads of the year. I love those videos. They're really, really fun. So I am going to go read a bit more, and when I read about 50 more pages, I'll give you guys a check-in. Bye, friends. Back in. It's 5:20. I did wind up reading about 100 pages in when you get a chance. I really am loving this book. Maybe it's because I'm a theater nerd. Maybe it's because I understand this world so much. I mean, when I was in high school, I was not the best dancer, was not the best singer, was not the best actor, but I still love the arts, and I just really love the Mamma Mia elements to the story. She is really craving a mother figure. She has been craving that her whole life. I love the relationship with her best friend. As someone that had a male best friend in high school, I love reading about it because that's very reminiscent of like my high school experience. I love it. Like it's just I'm really enjoying it. I really like Tweet Cute. Tweet Cute was one of my favorite books of 2020 when I read it, I think. I reread it last year. I'm probably going to reread it again. But I'm really liking this, and I think I'm going to do like a theater book recommendation video for you all because I have read a lot. Some of them are not my favorite. Like I've read some books that just don't fit it the way that I have seen theater in my life. But this book does it for me. It has a lot of elements that I love. I love the hate to love romance, the potentiality of that. It's a great story, and I like do not want to put this book down. It's really, really fun. I'm happy that I picked it up. It's delightful. I'm just really enjoying it. I'm curious to see how the mom thing's gonna turn out because I think it could go like one of 3 ways or 4 ways, which is how I think it's gonna work out. But I'm really liking it. I just think it's great, and I think having a book set in New York City is always a fun read, but especially because of the pandemic and everything. And even though I work in the city, I feel like I haven't really been exploring the city that much in the past couple of years because we have been so isolated. So sort of reading of a book in a non-pandemic world is super nice. I'm gonna go read another 50 pages. Also, YouTube Cube update. I did add a couple of videos because I really would like to finish this today. And I know when I start Jade City, I'm not gonna be able to watch YouTube videos because I have to be focused. But I have about 12 left, and they're all pretty long. So that's gonna be my plan for tonight. Is to just sort of read and relax. So I'm gonna go read another 50 pages, and I'll give you guys another check-in. Bye, friends. It's just a quick check-in. It is 7:10. I did wind up getting up to page 150 in this book. This book is just adorable. Like I really like it. I love Emma Lord's writing. I love the drama world that is really at the heart of the story, and I love how different the mom characters are. But I like potential mom characters are. But I also like that she's like really coming outside of her shell a little bit. And as someone that is in the arts, it's not an easy industry. But I also like that these female characters are becoming a bigger part of her life in different ways, which I don't think I necessarily expected. I'm really curious. Like the one thing I'm curious to see how that part of the story ends, obviously. But I'm loving the relationship between like the two main characters. It's a very, very small story. I will say that. There's a lot of like mom characters, but she's a little bit isolated from her friends because it is set in the summer and she's thinking of going away to school. So that's another plot point. I'm really liking it. There's also the main character, the male character. He is a stage manager and I'm a stage manager. So I tagged some quotes where he talked about seeing shows come together, which is like one of my favorite things to do as a stage manager. I'm loving this book quite a bit. I'm really pleasantly surprised because I didn't love When You Get a Match. I liked it. It wasn't a favorite for me, but I really, really am liking this one. And this one is probably going to be like a 5-star read for me just because I'm loving all the elements. I'm loving the theater elements. I'm loving the Mamma Mia elements. I'm really loving the romance. I think that she's doing hate to love or hate to more in a really, really fun way, and it's sort of giving me Tweet Cute vibes. She did that story really, really well, and they are connected sort of like that. And there was a cameo from, not the characters, but you got like a cameo from the burger place in one of these, so that was actually really, really cool. But yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit of a reading break, get a snack, and then I'm gonna get back at it because I really want to know what's going to happen. I'm very curious how the story ends, how the romance develops, and how everything messy occurs, because I feel like this story at the ending will be super messy, and I'm okay with that. I just want to do a quick update. It's about 8:40. I did wind up reading to page 200 in When You Get a Chance by Emma Lord. I'm just quite fond of this book, like right off the bat. It does have a lot of theater elements that I'm really liking, and I'm feeling it's very realistic to how my theater club was in high school, like very realistic. So that's something that I'm really liking. I also am really liking the self-discovery elements to it, and it's been a bit since I really read a romance that had a strong self-discovery plot, and those tend to be the romances that I really, really like. I like when characters are sort of finding themselves in these stories and not just focusing on the romance, and I just am loving that. In comparison to Love from Scratch, which I read earlier in this reading vlog, this definitely, they have a similar element. They both have a competitive job experience because they're both competing for a job. That's literally, like, it's a very, very similar premise. But what I would say in this book is a bit stronger is the love to hate relationship, or hate to love relationship, because they really do have a better, like, they do have a history, and I felt like in Love from Scratch the history really wasn't there, and it was more friends to more with a competitive aspect. But this definitely, there, it's so ingrained. It reminds me a lot of Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, and I'm really liking it. But it also does have anxiety rep, and I think that that's in, like, it's the way that she's sort of learning to deal with that. But there's also the element of her maybe wanting to go away to school and the impact it has. So the mom plot is very, very central to her, but it's not the whole book, and I like that. And it is a very, very self-contained story. I do love her best friend. Like, I love him. He's great. I also really do like the potential love interest. I think he's great. Their relationship is great. I'm really, really liking it. I'm so happy that I'm liking it because I struggled with her second book, but I think I'm going to give her second book another chance, like in the summer, and read it like around the summertime, maybe get the audiobook and see if I like it a little bit better. But definitely one that I'm really, really liking. I don't know if I have to watch like 2 more videos, and then tomorrow I can sort of just like watch some TV shows, which has been my plan for like a month. So I'm going to go read another 50 pages and see what time we're at, and then maybe I'll give you guys another update. I do hope to start another reading vlog tomorrow at some point and start Jade City, but I'm not going to do that until I'm done with my like YouTube videos, because I can't really read Jade City when I'm watching YouTube videos. I need to focus. But really liking this. Definitely would recommend. I'm definitely going to do that theater recommendation video for you guys in January or February, but so far definitely really, really strong and really, really liking it. This book is delightful. It's also so funny. I remember cracking up laughing reading Tweet Cute, and I'm loving it. Like, so many moments. Oh, it's just great. And I think it's just so much about self-discovery, and like, you know, yeah, I love it. I mean, obviously the character's romantic life is in a little bit of shambles, but the side characters are getting like a nice side story that I didn't expect. There was definitely like a plot twist in a contemporary that I did not see coming, and I thought that was really, really cool. But they also did have a conversation about arts high schools and arts programs that I think was really important, because I was going to mention something at the very end, and I probably still will, but I like the conversation that her boss had with her, because I've said that to my kids so many times about these art high schools. They appear great, but they really sometimes struggle with their balance, and I like that. And it's just a delight. Like, I literally don't want to stop reading. Like, I have to know what happens. And I think the plot about her mom and the identity of her mother, I wonder how that's going to turn out, because it's definitely not going the way I predicted. I will say that. Well, actually, it is going the way I predicted in some ways, but not the way that I was hoping it was gonna go. But it's also like we got like a couple of more characters as the story went on, and I like that because it's a very, very small story. But yeah, I'm loving it. Like I really like it, and I'm very, very fond of this read. Like I just, maybe it's the theater elements too, and it's, again, I said in an earlier clip, I miss my theater club and I miss putting up shows, but just seeing them potentially putting up Mamma Mia in the future, which is actually another like little fun thing because it's a Mamma Mia retelling, and they're doing it in the future. But I still love her and her relationship with Oliver like a lot. I think it's great. They're in a bit of a treacherous path right now, but I have read about 250 pages. If I get about 50 more pages and I'm not too tired, I'm probably just going to tackle this today because um, I really need to know what happens. So I'm going to go read 50 more pages and then kind of give you guys my final check-in, but I'm really liking it. I'm definitely going to be like a 5-star read for me, just out of enjoyment level for sure, but I'm just so happy I picked this up. So I'm going to go finish, read at least 50 pages and give you guys a time check, but I don't want to put it down. So that's a really good sign. Bye, friends. It's later here. It is a lot later than I thought. It is 9:05, but I did end up sleeping a little bit later, which I don't ever have the opportunity to do because for work I get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and then during the weekends I try to wake up a little bit earlier to like get stuff done. But I slept to 8 today, and I just like literally did all my errand stuff. Like I did my bullet journal, I did my Goodreads, I did everything else that I had to do. I didn't finish When You Get a Chance by Emma Lord, but I'm really liking it. There was one plot point that like the minute the character said one line, I knew what the plot point was going to be, but I'm really enjoying it actually. The heart, like, just, I'm loving this book. Like, I'm just so, I really like can't say anything else about it because I'm really enjoying it. I'm really happy that I picked it up this weekend. So I'm gonna go finish this, and then I'm gonna wrap up this reading vlog, because I wanted to do like a 24 hours of reading, which, so when I'm done with this, we will see what time it is, and we'll see like what the 24 hours of reading is going to be. But I'm gonna go finish this up, and then we will count it like 9 o'clock to be 24 hours of reading, but 24 hours of reading will probably be a little bit later. Bye, friends. Here I'm back. So I did wind up finishing When You Get a Chance by Emma Lord. I really like this book quite a bit. I think it's definitely up there with my favorite books by Emma Lord. It's definitely going to be a 5-star read for me. It was just delightful. I thought this book really did focus on the found family element, and I think at the end I love that. Like, I love the found family element. I like that this book was not only a quest for a girl to find her mom, but also just her focusing on self-discovery as a self-professed theater nerd. I think Emma Lord got the theater elements great in this read. I love that it was based in New York City. I love that there was a platonic friendship. I love the romance. I just loved everything. There was nothing about this book that I didn't like. It played with the typical tropes of a contemporary in a really, really fun way, and I really loved it. I gave this one 5 stars. So to wrap up what I read in this reading vlog, I read Love from Scratch, which I would give 4 stars. It really didn't do the enemies to more trope that great. It was fine. I liked it. It was a fun read. I thought it had a lot of interesting conversations about like, entertainment and life in the business. I thought that was really interesting. I really did like the romance. Like, both of these romances were super fun. I just like the way that the enemies to more was done in this a little bit better. And then I also read my Shadow and Smoke Avatar comics, which is 3 volumes. So I read quite a bit this weekend, which is actually really, really good. I wasn't planning on reading this, but I just had to pick it up because I am missing my theater life, and I needed something that was theatery. So I'm gonna go start my next reading vlog, which will be my first adult fiction book of the year. So I'm gonna go do that. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments if you're planning on picking up When You Get a Chance, or if you're planning on picking up Love from Scratch. I would definitely recommend both of them, but this one is definitely my favorite so far. So talk to you guys for my next video. Bye, friends.